are immediately being sent into the army. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the Kremlin insists widespread reports of fighting-age men fleeing Russia are being exaggerated. China's foreign minister has called for dialogue and de-escalation in the Ukraine crisis. The UK government setting out a mini budget of tax cuts and support for energy bills. And the US aircraft carriers arrived in South Korea for the first time in around 4 years. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Don't forget, you can listen online too at kchw.org.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, getting your morning show fired up. And today, we're in trouble. There's no Michelle to keep us in line. It's Scott and Phillip. And Phillip, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, live from Addie, Washington, which is really, except for you, it's never been said before.
I know.
I don't think anything's ever been broadcast live from Addie, Washington, has it?
I don't know. Maybe, Alcoa is a big deal. Maybe they did some sort of news thing or press thing back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
But nope, I like to say that I'm the first.
All right. In the last 20 years, you are the first live broadcast from Addie, Washington, I would bet. And, it's also a location, I've done some live broadcasts from small towns in the county for the radio station, but never Addie.
Yeah. So, which ones besides Chewelah?
We did some stuff one time from Clayton, did something from Colville years ago, from the fair. Not a lot, because especially when we first got started, it was kind of difficult because you had to have internet wherever we were broadcasting from, or a site, inline a site with a tower. So we could beam the internet from there to our location. So, mostly around Chewelah. But Michelle's learning how to do that, and she's going to be out and about, and especially, I think, next week we've got that the Fall Festival coming on. We'll talk about a little bit about that in a little bit. So she will be out doing some live broadcasting, and I'm sure when I say that, it makes her nervous.
It's cool. Every time that it seems like there's always a lot of feedback. Like, people always really like it when the live broadcasting happens.
Yes. Yep. All right, and then next month we got this is the beginning of the month. We got the Fall Festival, and you got Boo Fest at the end of the month, and lots of stuff going on. We'll cover that in a few minutes. First, though, weather-wise, not a bad weekend in store for you. Some sun this morning, increasing clouds this afternoon with a high of 68, 43 for an overnight low under partly cloudy skies. Saturday, 73 and 45, partly cloudy. That's pretty nice. Sunday, 78 and 46, mostly sunny, and then a little blast of summer next week. You've got to Monday 81, Tuesday 84, Wednesday 81, and then back to the low 70s. So, if you've got some final camping, maybe you can, a little vacation time still going on, maybe you could get out and enjoy that last little bit of summer.
Yeah, that's music to my ears.
All right. Now, you missed some shows. You've been sick. Everybody well now?
Yeah, everybody's great.
All right. You said it wasn't COVID, so that's always good.
Yeah.
Over the past 3 years, you've been sick a few times, but never the COVID.
I know. I've gotten, really lucky. Of course, like, I've talked about it before, but we all are vaccinated here, and, there's no, 100% either way. Like, there's definitely people that didn't and have never got COVID, or, and then there's people that have gotten it vaccinated and also have never got COVID. But, you like to think that maybe it helped a little. I work with the public, every day, and,
and not
touching a lot of things. Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. I had done really good too. I was so proud, but when I think when your mom coughs in your face and she has COVID, there's no way around it. Love you, Mom.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right. For me, weather-wise, Fiona coming up the coast, and it is not going to hit Maine, but the edge of it will. So we've got all sorts of weather warnings today. It's kind of strange. We already had a big rain push, but it wasn't from Fiona. Buckets and buckets of rain the past 2 days. I went out and looked at the RV, and the back end was setting in about 4 inches of water in the yard. So I'm afraid to go out and look this morning and see if it sunk.
Yeah.
Because it gets real soggy around here. But we've got high wind warnings inland, and then on the coast, they've got gale warnings and rip tides, and it's just supposed to get cooking. And I had plans for tomorrow to go out and do some sightseeing, and I've cut all that back because it just, 40, 50 mile an hour winds blowing in your face. It just doesn't seem like a sightseeing day, even though I really like storms.
Yeah. That was when you first told me about moving over there. That was one of the things that popped into my head instantly is just that there's some crazy storms, both now and in the winter. And I just, over here we talk about storms and it's like, oh yeah, we got all this, but I just feel like it's a whole nother animal over there.
Yeah, people keep telling me just wait for winter. I said, well, I've experienced snow before, and they said, well, you haven't experienced Maine snow. And they were telling me last year there was 1 month where it never got over 32, and there was 40 below with the wind chill factor and stuff. And my daughter told me, it's like all the road signs and the highway signs have massive sword-shaped icicles hanging off them because there's so much moisture too and cold. So it'll be an experience, and Canada's going to get Fiona because if you look at your map, Canada wraps across the top of the United States up here into Nova Scotia, and it looks like they're expected to get hit by the hurricane up there, which that's pretty far north for a hurricane. So
yeah, for sure. Where did it? Did it always start in at least over there, in by the Gulf, and then come up?
Well,
or
this one started at Lower Atlantic, and it's just kept working its way up. Went through Bermuda and stuff, but it's left the East Coast pretty much alone. We've seen the effects of it, like the wind and stuff, and some places rain, but it hasn't. Sometimes it'll hit, North Carolina, South Carolina, but they've been safe. All right. But,
cool.
Fun. I'm going to sneak out later today and try and buy a kite. And an old key. And see if I can electrocute myself.
And no one heard from Scott ever again.
Yes. All right. It's been kind of if you watch the news, it's been kind of a light news week. They just keep rehashing the same things over and over. The Queen stuff's kind of died down since she's not lying in state anymore. But it does just kind of keep rolling the same news stories over. Mostly what's being covered is, all of Trump's lawsuits. And I know his supporters will say he's under attack, and the other side says, no, he's not. He's criminal and all that kind of stuff. But the latest one, to me, is glaring, and I don't understand why. I guess I can't fathom the support when you can hear it right out of the horse's mouth. And some of it, there's terms I want to use that I can't on the radio. The ridiculousness of it all. And I'm going to play a clip, and then at the end of the clip, I made a little fun sound thing. So just listen to this, Philip.
You have said on Truth Social a number of times you did declassify.
I did declassify, yes.
Okay. Is there a process? What was your process to declassify?
It doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. There's different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it. 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 Even by thinking about it.
I just think about things and they happen. So I've been practicing that. It's kind of like Carmack the Magician, and I've been thinking about having a girlfriend. So I think about it. No. It's going to happen, right?
Declassified.
Yeah.
No, it's hard. Yeah, there's just so many stories, and you just it's hard to wade through. And I had a feeling like that, even now, that even with all the stories that are coming out about Trump, that we are, still only getting what we're supposed to be getting, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I was just reading this article earlier on MSN about how, he says that he can't be charged for fraud because he gave all the money back. It's like, what? That's not how it works.
He makes up his own rules. And now the whole family, in that fraud case, he was really upset about that yesterday. And I don't know a lot about that one. And the problem I've always had, I like some of the things he did when he was president, but it was the say anything without any proof, without any facts. To me, obvious lies, the meanness. My mom really got into it with me one time, wanting me to vote for him. And I said, Mom, my mom's very religious, and I said, you taught me, right and wrong when I was growing up, and you put a lot of stuff in my face, and now you're asking me to support someone who's just a mean person, someone I wouldn't leave my daughters alone in a room with, and it makes you a hypocrite. And since then we don't talk about politics, so it solved that problem, and everybody's got their different views, so.
For sure.
All right, but I had to share that. I mean, you need to. That's right out of his own mouth. Really, you declassify things by thinking about it. Do some research. That is so not true. But people just, he said it. It's gold. It has to be, and that's not the way it is. All right, moving along. Another news story. I don't even want to talk about this one because it's local, but it's Chewelah in the news. This came out in the Spokesman Review a couple days ago. Some people might know about it. Some people might not. The story actually done on Spokesman Review, and then for people that are familiar with this kind of stuff, it was available for free to other organizations under a Creative Commons license. But I'm still going to give credit to James Hanlon and the Spokesman Review for the story. This isn't something that we dug up on our own or anything like that. I'm just repeating what was broadcast, and it is our hometown, so it is important. A 4-month investigation into allegations of misconduct by Chewelah Police Chief Ryan Pankey has concluded. Its findings have not been released, while Pankey and his attorney are given a chance to respond. I believe that's supposed to happen by the end of today. A hearing presenting the allegations and investigation report was held last Friday. Pankey's written response to the allegations is expected by the end of today, and that was from a City of Chewelah news release. Pankey and his attorney, Joe Kuhlman, did not respond to the spokesman for requests for comment. The specific allegations against Pankey are unclear, as the mayor's office has not shared further details. They quoted the mayor in the story. It says, "Our intent is and has been to maintain discretion with regards to communications during an internal employee investigation out of fairness to any employee." Let's see, that was at a June 1st city council meeting, according to the minutes. Now, the city's been really good about that. We had a former police chief that left unexpectedly, and no one ever knew what happened there. I remember when that happened one day, Jared from the newspaper called me and said, "Scott, do you know what's going on?" And I was like, "If you're calling me, asking me, nobody knows."
Yeah.
Because I'm clueless. All right. And I really tried to stay away from the news, Pankey, I mean, the local news, we've had a great relationship with the Independent, and we always give credit to them, and they've let us use their stories. So I never had the time to go out and stick my nose into things, and why follow Jared and tell the same stories that the newspaper does. Never wanted to step on their feet like that, so... Moving on with this story, though. Pankey has been on paid administrative leave since May 3rd. Sergeant David Watts, who is also, it says here, the chief of the Chewelah Fire Department, is serving as interim police chief. Another officer in the department is also under investigation, but it's not clear whether the two cases are related. We just don't have the details. Officer James Glover, 49, was suspended on September 13th. Another Chewelah press release said this, when a Spokane County District Court judge issued a 10-year protection order against him. The reason for the protection order was listed as sexual assault. Glover had been on desk duty since August 5th when the city learned of a temporary protection order from July 28th requiring him to surrender his firearms. The city immediately removed Officer Glover from patrol and prohibited him from carrying and or possessing any and all weapons, duty and personal. That's according to the press release. It also said these weapons were confiscated by the Stevens County Sheriff's Office. It says Glover is not to come within 1,000 feet of the protected person, which of course they don't name, their vehicle, their residence, El Ranchito restaurant, and a carpenter shop in Chihuahua. Now, this is all according to the September 13th protection order. It says no criminal charges have yet been brought against Glover. A city press release said it was seeking documentation about the case from the Spokane County District Court. So kind of some little shakeup. More information is definitely needed in that area. I do believe when the mayor was on the radio with us on Wednesday, he did mention there was a new police officer. So we have added a new police officer, too. That's all we know about it. And I imagine since there will be a statement by the end of today, that'll probably be in the Independent come Wednesday. So that'll probably be the first new news we get on that one. Also, big delays on yesterday. Big delays on 395 near Loon Lake. It's supposed to be all done and fixed. They had an equipment problem that caused this for the road construction that was already going on. If you're headed that way and there's still road problems and construction going on, blocking traffic, and you have a passenger or something, maybe post on our Facebook page and let us know whether those roads are opened up or if there's any problems with them. We would appreciate that. All right, and then we can pass it on. All right. Let's see. Other than that, I didn't have any new news stories. So, Philip, let's go to what we call news and nuggets. It's news on the lighter side, usually.
I feel like there's a couple times I've been reading through these, and I'm like, "Whoa, I'm not saying that."
Yeah, no. If you got one you don't like, it's okay to skip. But do you want to kick things off?
Yeah, it looks like we start over on the other side of the pond, as they say. There's a conspiracy theory that suggests King Charles III security guards use prosthetic arms and hands. The theory was first presented to TikTok, of course, by a man named Jason, who thinks the guards' real hands are wrapped around loaded guns concealed under their suit jackets.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. The first guy highlighted in the video, which you can just check it out, but doesn't really seem to have a fake arm or hand, maybe, but the second guy, pretty sure that hand is fake and very sure his real arm is under his suit jacket.
What if that was the thing?
Maybe, yeah. Or what if he's just picking on the one guy that has a prosthetic arm?
You know the ones in the big fuzzy hats? I wonder if that's the one they're talking about. And I've always been curious if they picked up that big fuzzy hat. What's under there? A rabbit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A stack of guns.
Conspiracy theories and divisions in society are running rampant, and it's just not in America, as you can see from this story. And, it was several months ago. I was on one of the dating apps, and I saw, since I'm so close to Canada, I'll see ladies from Canada, and it said on there, if you voted for Trudeau, if you've gotten the vaccine, swipe left. And I went, wow, that's just like America.
Yeah.
So it's not just here. It's a world in turmoil. All right. Let's see. More people, and also in this world in turmoil, this story, people spend more time sitting on the toilet than exercising.
Touche.
That might be true. All right, adults spend 3 hours and 9 minutes on the toilet every week, but just 90 minutes being active. All right.
Wow. 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah. Working on having a deep voice, maybe not. Women who want a lot of kids should be on the lookout for men with a deep voice. Study found that men with low voice pitch have higher reproductive success and more children born to them. Huh.
Whew. Dodged a bullet there.
Wow. So James Earl Jones, how many kids does he have?
I don't know.
A lot, I guess, because he's got the deepest voice ever.
I didn't think that Darth Vader had kids. Wait, yes, he does.
So that's the weird thing. I've been checking out Sideline. I've been watching the new. In fact, I just finished it off last night. The new Obi-Wan Kenobi series with Ian McGregor on Disney Plus, and so they actually have Hayden Christensen in the suit for Darth Vader, but it's James Earl Jones' voice. I didn't know James Earl Jones was still alive. He's got to be getting quite elderly, but he is still doing the voice of Darth Vader, and then Hayden Christensen, in the suit. And actually, in the last episode, I'm going to do a little spoiler here. Sorry, plug your ears. But he gets hit with a lightsaber, and it busts his helmet halfway off, and then it's Hayden Christensen's voice. So that was kind of cool.
That is cool. Yeah. Have you seen any of Andor yet?
No, that popped up next to watch. I watched a few episodes of The Mandalorian because you and Brandon have talked highly about that one before. So I've watched a couple of that episodes. Great. And then you've got the one Boba Fett as a series too. So I'm having fun because I've ran out of things to watch on some of the other channels. So I'm having fun on Disney Plus. So.
Yeah, that's the only one that I haven't watched yet. But I think just this week they put out those 3 episodes of Andor, and I really liked it. It had a totally different feel because it's not about Jedis and the light side and the dark side and stuff. It's just regular people doing regular things.
All right. I really enjoyed seeing the actors from the movies in the TV series. I thought that was kind of cool that because sometimes actors won't stoop themselves to being in television, but I think COVID kind of changed all that.
I don't know. There's some big weight too behind Disney asking you to do this. Like
sure.
I don't know. Just because they kind of when they sort of bought the whole Star Wars. I feel like they kind of rebranded it a little bit. That's when they started coming out with all the episode. Which ones were they? I forget. But and all like the Han Solo movie and stuff like that. I just feel like they were like, this is how we're gonna do it, and the original content's been, for the most part, pretty decent.
Well, and Disney put out the ones, the Han Solo story, Rogue One, and there's another one I'm missing and stuff. So those would be post. So the first 3 were 4, 5, and 6 back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. 4, 5, and 6, and then the new ones that came out were 1, 2, and 3, and then the ones Disney did, I imagine, were 7, 8, 9. Maybe?
Yeah.
Except for when they skip back and do Han Solo as a kid or a young man, that kind of stuff. So it's very interesting, and if you're on there, it's kind of cool. They list them as available to watch, and they're all in chronological order, and they tell you that. So that's kind of nice that you're able to follow along with the story if you're into it like that. For all you Star Wars geeks out there, and I know there's a lot of them. So
yeah. Well, and there's all the side I don't know. Just opening up the universe as far as not just rehashing the Skywalker saga over and over. Sure. It's interesting to see all these outside players and their stories.
Yeah. And what's his name? Jon Favreau, who was Pixar and did some great Pixar movies, kind of went in there and is producing some of the Star Wars stuff, and he's doing a really good job. So.
Yeah, he does Mandalorian for sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on in stories. How about tell us about that blind dog that got rescued?
Oh, yeah. Firefighters rescued a 13-year-old blind dog that fell into a hole at a California construction site. That's sad. The dog named Caesar lives next to the site in Pasadena with his owner, and the dog apparently wandered onto the site and fell into the hole, which is about 15 feet deep and 3 feet wide. The owner was alerted by the barking of her other dog. Caesar responded, and she could hear he was no longer in her yard, and a Pasadena search and rescue team soon responded to the scene.
Wow. All right, that's one of those feel-good stories.
Like Marco Polo.
For your dog.
I'm in a hole. Yeah.
All right. This next story is So Scott. Average person feels comfortable passing gas after just 6 dates. It's happened to the
You
best of
added the jest.
It's happened to the best of us. You're in a work meeting or on a date when your belly suddenly begins to rumble. Since you can't let one loose right there and then, you instead endure the discomfort of keeping yourself from passing gas. Turns out this happens quite frequently for the average American. According to a recent survey, holding back gas or other symptoms result in 338 close calls a year. Or as my daughter calls it, bubble belly. I kind of like that. It's a nice term for it. More specifically, average respondent keeps themselves from passing gas 6.5 times per week. Poll shows that over a quarter, 26%, think the worst place to accidentally pass gas is during a work meeting, professional outing, or perhaps even on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than half, 55% of adults admitted they've purposely muted themselves in a virtual meeting to relieve symptoms of gas. When it comes to, that's the one, I guess, nice thing about a Zoom right now. You can just mute yourself and have at it there, Philip.
Is it it's got to be pretty obvious though, right? Like,
especially if you go like this.
yeah, like the whole like mute sign comes up on the screen, like, and it's only for 5 seconds.
You know what I would do? Mute it, fake a cough, and there you go. That easy.
Just like disappear off screen, like.
That was good. That was good. All right. Bonuses when you're watching online, folks. All right. When it comes to dating a new person, the average adult feels comfortable passing gas after 6 dates. All right.
Man, it feels like there should be gambling odds, like Sportsbook Vegas, over under 6.5 dates.
All right, shark news.
Great white shark fitted with a GPS tracker drew a self-portrait of sorts in the Atlantic Ocean. 13-foot predator named, is that Breton?
Looks all right.
Was the first shark to be tagged during nonprofit research group O-Search expedition to Nova Scotia in 2020. When Breton surfaces for sufficient time, the tag in his dorsal fin pings a GPS location. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the 1,437-pound great white shark has traveled along the East Coast off New Jersey, Virginia, and South Carolina. And it turns out his movements have been mapped out into the shape of a shark during his 444-day journey.
That's weird. That
Yeah.
They've tracked him and plotted it, and it's in the shape of a shark. It's like he knows.
It's cool. Like, I don't know. That type of stuff is fascinating. Just where, because you don't see them. So it's like, where are they going? They just stay in the same place, and you find out that they travel thousands of miles in, 1 year or whatever.
Crazy. Sad story out of Australia. This isn't on our list today, but I did see it yesterday. 230 pilot whales beached themselves. Only 32 survived. And those 32 that they got back into the ocean, they're worried they're going to come back and beach themselves. So, and this has been going on for decades now. Whales beaching themselves, and scientists still have no idea why. They have guesses about pollution and perhaps military maneuvers, underwater explosions, sonar messing with them, things like that just drives them crazy, lose their bearings, and they beach themselves. But really sad when you lose 200 whales all at once. And we just don't have enough to go around anymore. We polluted our oceans so bad and overfished them, and yeah, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, that is sad.
All right, Google searches for how to break an arm at home have surged in Russia after Vladimir Putin announced a partial mobilization of the population to fight in Ukraine. Country's defense minister said 300,000 men with previous military experience would now be called up. Shortly after, Google searches for how to break an arm at home exploded across Russia, sparking speculation some Russians could take extreme measures to avoid going to Ukraine. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe they're just talking about other people's arms. It's bad either way you look at it.
It is bad. And then, of course, they lie about everything they come up and say, all those rumors of people fleeing our country, not true. Well, all the airlines said they were sold out. So who's telling the truth? All right. This one was on the news yesterday, too. Go ahead with that. That's kind of a sad one. Another sign of people going crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of bad news, an unruly passenger on a California-bound American Airlines flight punched an attendant in the head from behind. Other passengers helped detain the man, who was arrested on landing at Los Angeles International Airport. The incident took place Wednesday from Mexico. A video posted to Twitter by another passenger shows the attendant confronting the man, who wears a Hawaiian shirt, in the aisle. The passenger was angry about being told not to use the restroom in the first class cabin. That is some overreaction.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The man started screaming at the flight attendant, and the flight attendant turned around and began to walk away. And that's when the guy jumped out of his seat and punched him in the back of the head. And it looks like the FBI charged him. It's
kind of cool.
A pretty serious assault.
It's kind of cool, though, that when this happens, that, there's still good people out there, because it's usually the other people on the plane that detain the idiot until, they can get him steward or something can get him zip tied. So,
yeah, I mean, that's got to be one of those jobs that's could be so difficult and so fun, all mixed into one. But it always seems like people with something about being cooped up on a tight space for a while makes people go crazy.
Yeah, I wonder, because some flights will serve alcohol and stuff. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. And if it does, maybe they should stop serving alcohol on a plane.
I don't know. Looks like he was wearing his party shirt, though, so.
Well, if he was going to somewhere cool, he ain't going to make it there now. FBI got him, right?
That's right.
All right, person may take knowing the local time for granted, but an official review revealed that there is no single accurate map showing the nation's time zones for local observance of daylight savings time. Federal transportation officials are now at work creating an accurate map of the nation's time zones. The issue came up, the Inspector General's office said, after the U.S. Senate passed legislation this year to end the biannual time turn by making daylight savings time permanent. Investigators found no single map accurately shows the boundaries nationwide, and said several sources of time information on the DOT website contain errors, such as inaccurately noting the time practices in some localities. All right, so we're going to be sticking to daylight savings time.
Yeah, you could is this where you can, go to the one spot in the United States where I'm standing in 4 time zones at once? Is it going to be that kind of detailed map, you think?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Hopefully.
All right. Astronaut luxury suites. I want one.
Yeah. Hilton Hotels has signed on to design the crew lodging and hospitality suites in the Star Lab. One of 3 stations in the running to replace the International Space Station that is set to retire no earlier than 2031. The partnership is with Voyager, which has set out to construct a large inflatable habitat that is supposed to launch in 2027, and it's using $130 million from NASA to make it happen. The announcement does not reveal details of the rooms, but states Hilton's suites will make extended stays more comfortable.
All right. I talked about
NASA robes.
I wonder if you have to pay if you steal a NASA robe.
Maybe.
This one we talked about last week. A woman who brought a wild raccoon into a North Dakota bar, which prompted state health officials to issue a warning about potential rabies exposure, is now facing criminal charges. 38-year-old Aaron Christensen is charged with misdemeanor counts of providing false information to law enforcement, tampering with physical evidence, and unlawful possession of fur bearers. Christensen said her family found the raccoon on the side of the road about 3 months ago and named it Rocky, of course. She said, that's so original. She said they were nursing the animal back to health with plans to release it back into the wild. It's illegal under North Dakota Board of Animal Health laws. This surprises me because not too much is illegal in North Dakota. To keep a wild raccoon, authorities euthanized the animal and tested negative for rabies. Why did they euthanize it?
Oh, I know. Of course it's the animal's fault that it was involved, right?
Yeah, and then it didn't have rabies after all.
Yeah.
So that's criminal
Like-
right there.
Whoops.
Wow. All right, I'm angry now. Let's move on to maybe something more fun. Bits and breaks today.
Yeah.
You want to feed me that brain gain? Because that
Oh,
brain gain,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
mine doesn't work too well. So I'm not going to
Have
look
you-
at it, okay?
Okay, you haven't done it?
I haven't done it.
All right. Okay, just a series of simple math questions, and I'll follow those math questions asking you a non-math question.
Okay.
So, what is 1 plus 5?
6.
2 plus 4?
6.
3 plus 3?
6.
4 plus 2?
6. This is
5 plus 1?
Still 6.
Okay.
Hold on.
Nah.
Gino, are you proud of me? All right.
I like how you pause like longer in some spots than others, but
I was
now
waiting for
say-
the trick.
Right.
Okay.
Wrong. Now say the number 6 as fast as you can for 20 seconds.
Are you going to time me?
Heck yeah, I'm
Okay.
timing you.
I need to pronounce it correctly because that could come out bad. 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6. I'm 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 6.
Okay,
6.
time.
Whew.
Okay, now think of a vegetable and tell me what it is.
Broccoli.
Oh man, you're thinking of carrot? No, you're not. I guess
Oh.
you're among the 2%, Scott, of the population whose mind are warped enough to think of something else. 98% of people say carrot after this exercise.
So once again, I'm Abby Normal.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh,
That's why we like you.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And you had to say 6 for 20
That's
seconds.
horrible.
I cut you off a little bit early, but
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, sound like you're running out of breath.
Well, I was trying not to mispronounce it really hard because that would be easy on that one.
Yeah.
All right, I found this one today, and it was a question mark. Do you really want to fly? Just besides COVID, do you really want to fly? So the next time you feel the urge to fly somewhere, it says throw your best suitcase under a moving truck, hide all your cigarettes, lock yourself out of the bathroom, sit in a very narrow chair holding a 10-cent bag of stale peanuts in your hand, and stare at the end of your driveway for 3 hours. It's just like flying, and think of all the money you just saved.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I can relate to that.
Excuse me.
I spent a lot of time on airplanes in the past, and I used to fly from SeaTac down to the airport in Atlanta, and it's about 6 hours. And when you're flying in the coach business class, it is tight.
Yes.
And it is I'm not tall or those seats, it's so cramped for one person. I couldn't imagine being any larger, and being comfortable. But so I get it. I get it.
All right, real quick, checking on our Facebook feed. Ron jumping in and saying, Happy Friday, KCHW. And Carrie is very excited today. She's getting to watch live, where Carrie has told me she always watches the rebroadcast, on Facebook or YouTube. But she's she's
cool.
happy she's watching it live. All right.
Hi, Carrie.
All right, Carrie. We'll try a little harder.
Yeah.
And
I also. Oh, I was just gonna say, I also got a text message from Heather that said that she is catching our show on the way to work.
Nice,
And it's-
nice.
yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, let's see what else you got on your side, Philip.
Let's see. There's one.
I like the
Yeah.
survey. Survey says I like it.
Yeah. There's a hair in your meal at a restaurant. Do you make the waiter take it back and keep eating? What says you, Scott?
I'm definitely making the waiter take it back.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you?
I have had hair in food before, a couple times.
Yeah, me too. Only it's always been at home.
Mom.
I'm like, sending this crap back.
Okay, now there's a difference. If it was cooked at home and it was like one of my mom's hairs, I'd probably just pick it out and eat it. I'm not going to send it back.
Yeah.
But out in public, yeah, it's going back.
Maybe just pretend all hair is your mom's hair. You're like, Mom, what are you doing here? Anyway, 53% of respondents said they make the waiter take it back, and 47% would pick it out and eat.
Ooh.
And that's very close to 50-50.
All right, so now you work at a restaurant. Has someone ever came to you and said there's a hair in my food?
I'm trying to recall. I don't think so. I mean, I've got things like steak wasn't cooked to temp, stuff like that, but nothing so hairy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
All right. I've got one here. Signs that he's never going to marry you, ladies. These are like in your face. All right. He's not going to marry you. He has a contract with a local liquor store for a new keg every Thursday. The only ritual he keeps is Monday Night Football. He tells you that you look better when you don't wear rings on any fingers.
That one's great.
He leaves his profile up on a dating app for networking purposes. He says every married man he meets seems depressed. All right. He returns anything you leave at his house the next day. Oh, yeah. Don't want to starting to leave clothes and stuff like that. And the last one, I'm going to use my own age. It says 30 in here, but I'm going to use mine. He's pushing 56, and he still has Hot Pockets in the fridge. Ouch.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket. That one really hits home for Scott.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Philip Dutton with how to deal with nosy questions.
Oh, yeah. You ever have somebody ask you a question that's clearly none of their business, or ever want to ask somebody a question that you're not sure if it's any of your business? This website, realsimple.com, has some tips for you. Let's see, on the question of how much do you weigh and how to respond, you could just be vague and answers like enough, or oh man, we're going to pick on Ariana Grande. Answers like about 1.5 Ariana Grandes will work. That's cold.
Ouch.
Let's see, going on to age, you've got like how old are you is the question, and I'm old enough to know better. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I hear that. And you can also claim a ridiculous age, or say I'm aging rapidly just thinking about it. What's a ridiculous age? Like 400?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like that.
Yeah. How much money do you make a year?
Ooh, that's tacky.
And yeah. How to respond, be deliberately vague. You can say, I do okay, or I'd like to make more. If the person presses on, let your parents take the fall. My mother told me never to discuss money, and stop there.
Or
Yeah.
you could just say, that's kind of a rude question. Okay, maybe not.
I was just saying more than you think.
Ooh.
Let's see. The question, what were you two talking about? How to respond. The price of crude oil. Or the question is often used as an entrance into a conversation. Yeah, like just joining. You're like, oh, what are you guys talking about? If the question comes from somebody who's overheard a phone conversation, apologize for talking so loudly.
Ooh.
Interesting.
All right. These are great how to diffuse things. All right. We are looking at 808. It's KCHW Chewila. Sneak that legal ID in there. And I'm going to roll out another one. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it again. What Scott thinks about in the shower. And I apologize in advance. All right. First one. Television gives us nothing to do when we have nothing to do. Music sounds better when you're driving a car. It does.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
All right. Clean sheets feel amazing on the first night, but exactly the same every night after that. It's true.
True.
Although that can change if you've eaten something in bed and now you have crumbs.
On the first night?
Well, no, like on the second night, because it says every night after that's the same. But that's not necessarily true, because if you get to like night 5 on those same sheets, and then you've taken some crackers to bed or something, and now you've got crumbs in bed.
Oh, yeah. But isn't it just implying that, like, the first day is the only special day and every day after is just bleh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. When you lose your teeth as a child, you get paid by someone who takes them. When you lose your teeth as an adult, you pay someone to take them.
Yeah.
All right.
Cruel.
Yeah. Let's see. This one's for you, Philip. If you were to kill every single person on the planet, you wouldn't go to jail.
I mean, it's technically true, but
Yeah.
how do you pull off that caper?
This one's really been bothering me. Now that electric cars are taking over, what's the movie industry going to do to figure out what to do for car explosions? There's no gasoline.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah. I don't know. They have to still maybe they'll like crash electric cars into bodies of water and then electrocute a bunch of people or something.
Or bright white arcing light from the battery or something, maybe.
Yeah, or like, Back to the Future, something like that.
All right. This one, when I thought about it this morning in the shower, it really hit home for me. I said, going up a shirt size as a kid is an accomplishment, but a failure for Scott as an adult. Yeah, totally, man. All right. Philip's going to wrap up our bits and breaks today with just wondering. What are you wondering about, Philip?
Let's see. How important does a person have to be before they're considered assassinated instead of just murdered?
I think you have to be like a leader of something really important.
Yeah. I mean, could it just be like something that's shocking? I guess anytime anybody's murdered, it's shocking. So,
I think if you were shot from a long distance, maybe that automatically would qualify you as being assassinated.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if it was just like, falling asleep and passing away in your sleep in your old age, you weren't like assassinated by Father Time.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I'm gonna put on my tombstone. Once you're in heaven, do you get stuck wearing the clothes you were buried in for eternity?
Wow, I hope they're not the clothes from today.
I always thought you instantly got your white robe dealy.
Yeah. Like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does a round pizza come in a square box?
Ooh. I bet your round boxes are really hard to make.
Round boxes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Why is that? Why is it that people say they slept like a baby when babies wake up every 2 hours?
It should be sleep like a cat.
Yes. Why are you in a movie but you're on TV?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And I'm going for it. Why is bra singular and panties plural?
You started to blush before you asked that question.
Yeah, I'm not blushing.
All right. I don't know, but I hate both of them. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Delayed hand reaction. Okay.
Can you cry underwater?
Ooh.
Maybe you gotta just like go down there and watch Free Willy under there or something. What disease did cured ham actually have?
Oh. I was ready that time. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, that's pretty deep. All right, thank you, Philip. That was amazing. And when I think about you, I think about this movie drop.
Do you know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Really?
People know me.
Well, I'm very happy for you.
You ever try that on a cute girl at the restaurant?
No.
No, you should. Do you know who I am? Huh. You haven't been listening to the radio. All right.
Like, what's the radio?
Yeah, we still got a few minutes. Let's do this.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
And today it's Scott versus Phillip, or Phillip versus Scott.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
All right. Ooh. My first trivia question for you, Phillip, is what popular beverage was first known in Europe as Arabian wine?
Arabian wine. Wine cooler?
Now, what popular beverage was first known in Europe as Arabian wine? Don't overthink it. Keyword there, probably Arabian.
I don't know. I don't know what drink starts with that.
Well, the drink doesn't start you with that, but there's a certain type. You can make this with a couple different types of plants. Popular beverage.
Iced tea?
Looking for coffee. And I was thinking of like Arabica.
Arabica.
So I don't know if that was a good hint or not, but I was thinking about coffee.
No, that's terrible.
All right. Hit me up then.
All right. The average person does this 4 times a day, but never wants to be seen doing it.
The average person does this 4 times a day, but doesn't want us to be seen doing it. Picking up the nose?
Oh, yep. Ding, ding, ding. Nice.
Those are rookie numbers.
Only 4 times. No.
I figured that, you probably go to the bathroom more than 4, so that was the next my next logical choice. Here we go. Average Americans spend 6 months of their life where?
6 months. Sleeping?
Oh, I think average American spends six months of their life, a lot longer than 6 months of their life sleeping, because it's like a third of your life. This happens in a car.
In traffic. Driving to work.
A specific situation in traffic. You will spend 6 months of your life, if you commute, in this specific situation while in traffic.
At a stoplight?
Yes.
Or stop sign?
Yep. All right.
Huh. We don't have a lot of those around here. I wonder if we...
That's why I said commuting.
Yeah.
If you're spending 6 months at a stoplight in Chihuahua, you're in trouble. You're going to get a ticket.
All right. Each year, about 30 commercial flights around the world do this. It comes at the end of a journey.
You said how many percentage of commercial flights do this?
About 30 commercial flights around the world do this.
Every year?
Yep, each year.
Turn around and go back to where they came from?
No, it would definitely be something scary.
Have a tire blow. Scarier?
Yep.
Belly land. Catch
you're
fire?
Close. It's a slide off a snowy or wet runway.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was tough.
Can you spin a cookie in an airplane? I want to know.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Gotta try.
I love doing it in a car.
You just can imagine being there and being like, whoa, we're not stopping. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that'd be scary.
I was on a flight one time that as soon as the plane touched ground, it made such a hard left that everybody on the plane, and Ron was online. He was in this plane with me. Everybody's eating your window or like in the next person's lap. That's how hard the plane turned when we land. And we always wondered what was coming at us that he had to get off the runway that fast. Because the tires are screeching, everybody's flung to the side, and it was a close call, whatever happened.
Huh.
All right.
Oh.
I got a fun one after this, but my last trivia question is, every year, this gets about 100,000 tons heavier. What is it?
100,000 tons heavier. Is it something that's spread, over the whole world? Like there's lots of little locations, or is it one thing?
One thing. You're on it right now.
The floor.
Your house is gonna collapse if it just gained 100,000 tons.
Yeah. 100,000 tons. Just the surface of the earth?
Yes.
Huh.
So doesn't that, you'd think after a while that would start to slow us down, add to our wobble? And is it space dust? Is it skin, pollution, garbage? Yeah. All of it
Maybe
together?
It's like, gravity slowing down.
Wow. All right. Huh. Do you have anything else?
I do not. Well, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. The last one, this is a series of multiple choices you get to make, all right? And all you have to do is make a choice, all right? And you don't win anything. It's not really a question. We're just going to learn a little bit about what Phillip likes.
Cool.
Okay? First group of three. Tell me your favorite. People Magazine, Curious George, a 9-volt battery.
Curious George.
Really? Okay. The New England Patriots, a Subway sandwich, or Rod Stewart?
Rod Stewart.
Really? Nobody usually predicts Rod Stewart. Okay, or chooses Rod Stewart. Cool. All right.
I always liked his voice, and I would always find myself, listening to something, and I would be like, what is this song? And then I'd find out that it was Rod Stewart. Turns out I'm a Rod Stewart fan.
Wow. I got to see him at like 70 years old. And he put on over a now he did take a break for about 45 minutes and let his band play, and then like a lady came out with an electric violin and did a little set. But 70 years old, and he did a more than 3-hour concert, and he was like an acrobat all over the stage. I was like, no way can he jump around and dance like that at 70. Pretty amazing. I don't know if he still can. That was probably like 10 years ago, but
yeah,
pretty
no,
amazing.
it's impressive. Even just listening to some of his songs, like I'm like, man, I don't know. It really comes across like the all the feeling and emotion, and he has that perfect voice for it. So
now one of the last albums he did was crooning. Did you enjoy that?
I kind of have mostly stuck to like his early stuff, but I haven't heard that one, so maybe.
All right. Your last choice of three. This is tough. Topsoil, Gravestones, AirPods.
Oh, AirPods all the way.
Huh. I'm kind of grim. I would have chose Gravestones. I don't know. I think they're cool. I like going to the cemetery and checking out the gravestones, especially
like
here.
Are they all like something you put your ear to?
Yeah, I guess you could. All right, we are going to go to break. We've got to thank a sponsor. We'll also roll out some news headlines, and when we come back. Sorry, we don't have local birthdays today. We're both at a distant location. He's in Addie. Yeah. I'm in Maine. So we don't have a calendar. I need to get one this coming year sent to Maine. I'll have to talk to Dr. Jazz about that, or one of our local Lions. Don't forget, I was talking to Tom last night. Lions Club calendar usually gets finished up and that's their birthday calendar, usually gets finished up in October. Now, you can go to our website at kchw.org, and you can fill out, there's a PDF under supporters. You'll see a little link to the Lions Club, and under that, a link to download a PDF to get you on the Lions Club calendar. Fill that out, and put it in the mailbox at KCHW for Tom, or if you know somebody that's in the Lions locally, get it to them. But October's your month that they do the set up the new calendar for the next year. So stay on top of that. It's a great thing to support. It really helps out the Lions, and they help a lot of people with hearing and vision problems. So a great group to support, and they also support us every year with a membership. So it's awesome. All right.
I just got mine last week. Well, I got our birthdays on there. My mom and Shane's and mine, and then I bought my calendar at the golf course. Actually, it's pretty funny.
All right, nice. All right, keep on listening. We will be back in just a little bit. It is KCHW Chewelah Northern Lights Public Radio and your morning show with Scott and Phillip. We're going for coffee.
Lights Public Radio is 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah, Deer Park, Colville.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for September 23rd, 2020. I'm Mary Sherman. Average Affordable Care Act premiums would have increased by more than 50% nationally had extra subsidies not been extended by Congress. Small business advocates say it's a big help when so many of them are still trying to get back on their financial feet. Mike Moen reports.
Inflation Reduction Act included a provision to extend the ACA's premium subsidies through 2025. Extra tax credits are from an earlier pandemic relief package and were set to run through this year. David Chase with the Small Business Majority says the extension removes a lot of headaches during a complicated time for owners of smaller operations.
Only about half of small businesses are able to offer coverage, and we've seen that number, drop even more since the pandemic, which makes the Inflation Reduction Act even more important.
Jay says since it was put in place, the Affordable Care Act has been a game changer for small businesses, but acknowledges owners still face challenges. He says healthcare costs continue to rise, with one recent analysis noting marketplace insurers were already proposing premium hikes for 2023. Policy experts say the subsidy extension will help buffer those higher expenses.
Consumer groups are pressing for legislation to reform the way credit agencies handle errors on credit reports. The calls to amend the Fair Credit Reporting Act come in the wake of an admission by Equifax last month that a coding problem caused sizable shifts in the credit scores of about 30,000 people. U.S. Representative Al Lawson is seeking bipartisan co-sponsors for a bill to require credit agencies to respond to inquiries from third-party credit repair companies or consumer nonprofits.
Everyday banks, employees, and government entities rely on credit reports to make critical decisions regarding an American viability for home and car loans, employment, and even government benefits, which is so critical today.
Equifax released a statement in August saying it has fixed the coding error. Right now, a loophole allows agencies to disregard correspondence on credit disputes if it doesn't come directly from the consumer. A relatively small number of so-called super emitters are responsible for 40% of the methane emissions in oil and gas hotspots, like California's Central Valley, according to a new report.
Experts from Carbon Mappers, the Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena, and 2 universities in Arizona flew over the basin and measured the invisible gas with spectrometers. John Goldstein with the Environmental Defense Fund, a group that co-authored the report, says the health of the planet depends on reducing methane emissions.
Methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas, more than 80 times more powerful than carbon dioxide in the first 20 years after it's emitted. So getting these problems fixed, keeping this methane in the pipe and out of our air is a really important way to bend the curve on climate change.
I'm Suzanne Potter.
This is PNS. In Illinois, state and local leaders are joining community groups for a call to action to draw attention to efforts to support at-risk youth.
Grassroots organizing doesn't always have the support of elected officials, but in Lake County, the state's attorney is joining in an effort to prevent gun violence and address mental health issues among young people. Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhardt says when it comes to addressing the cycle of gun violence and helping at-risk youths, the prosecutor's office is in a unique position.
I think the prosecutor's office, when it comes to expungement, when it comes to diversion programs, when it comes to drug court programs and mental health court programs, the prosecutor's office has sometimes almost complete discretion in terms of who gets into some courthouse programs, and we need to be thinking about how courthouse outcomes and, frankly, decades of disparity in our courthouse plays a role in this gun violence cycle as well.
The Lake County State's Attorney's Office is co-sponsoring the event along with community groups including Mothers Against Wrongful Convictions and the Lake County chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Brett Pivito reporting.
In a world filled with conflict, one city in Michigan is celebrating its status as an international city of peace. A group of nonprofit organizations is hosting a Midland Celebration of Peace to commemorate this year's International Day of Peace and to educate, inform, and celebrate creating peace in the community. Judy Timmons is with the Midland chapter of Nonviolence Peace Force, an international organization dedicated to transforming the way people think about handling conflict. She says the organization travels to hotspots around the world and work to settle conflicts without the use of violence.
They can't bring guns. They have to come to this neutral territory, if you will. It takes a lot of effort on the team's part, but they have been very successful in bringing a consensus and an agreement.
The Midland City Council passed a resolution designating Saturday as the Midland Celebration of Peace. Workers for Montana nonprofits have seen their organizations swamped by the pandemic. Eric Tegedoff reports on the effects that can have on this part of the workforce.
The work of some nonprofit organizations has only increased with the pandemic and the needs that have come from it. An author and expert in the field of trauma speaks at a Montana conference today about the feelings of many workers of being overwhelmed. Laura Vandernoot-Lipsky is the founder and director of the Trauma Steward Institute and author of The Age of Overwhelm. She says there's a cycle for nonprofits in which they become overextended due to structural issues within society, which in turn affects their workers.
You have individuals who are trying to sustain doing this exceedingly hard work, but in environments where it's almost impossible to do it or near impossible to do it.
Vandernoot-Lipsky says it can be hard for workers because of their vicarious exposure to trauma over time, or when they work in environments where there's high burnout.
This is Mary Sherman for Public News Service, member and listener supported. We're heard on radio stations big and small, your favorite podcast platform, and you can find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
You're listening to KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7. You got Phillip and Addie and Scott in Maine. Quick look at your weather for the weekend again. 70 degrees for a high today. Mix of clouds and sun during the morning. Give way to cloudy skies this afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 44. You got a good weekend in store. Saturday, 75 and 46, partly cloudy. 80 on Sunday, mostly sunny. And then Monday, 83. Tuesday, 86. Wednesday, 82. And then you drop down into the low to mid 70s. So you've got a nice little stretch of almost summertime weather there, especially by Sunday. So enjoy.
I will.
All right. Looking at events, it's kind of light for this weekend. You have the Chihuahua Farmers Market today, and that goes from 11 to 3:30. Next week, very busy, though. If I look at the week, you've got on Tuesday, you've got the Forest Service representative at the Chihuahua Chamber office. That's from 10 to 3. Front Porch Farms having cider pressing. That's kind of cool on, let's see, that would be Thursday. Also, Chihuahua Arts Guild having their annual Taste of Chihuahua going on from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Is the golf course taking part in that? I think they are.
Yeah, we do every year.
All right.
Yep.
All right, and then you guys actually come down the hill, though, and do it in town, or is it up at the hill?
Yeah, no, we've been at different spots over the years. I think this year we will, if I remember correctly, be at the Courtside Brewery.
Okay, all right. So Taste of Chihuahua, Thursday night, 4:30, the evening, I should say, 4:30 to 8 p.m. Then on Friday, of course, next week, you got the Farmers Market. Saturday starts Fall Fest, and I know our own Michelle Williams has been working hard on this, as a lot of people around town. It's going to be parade in the morning, Firefighters Olympic in the park after that. Then there's going to be like a children's version of the Firefighter Olympics. Then there'll be vendors on Main Street downtown, a giant table that goes between 2nd and 3rd Street where everybody can sit down and eat together, which is going to be very, very cool, and live music. All right, so Fall Festival next Saturday. And then on Sunday, Chihuahua Valley Lions Fall Half-Century Bike Tour starting at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday. So busy, busy week in Chihuahua next week.
Cool.
All right, moving on this morning. How about a few celebrity birthdays for today with Philip?
Yeah, we've got Julio Iglesias turning 79. Bruce Springsteen is 73.
Wow.
Jason Alexander is 63. Anthony Mackie, 44. Yeah, and going on into Saturday, we've got just a few. We've got Gordon Clapp is 74. Kevin Sorbo's turning 64. Ben Platt is turning 29. And on Sunday, we've got Barbara Walters turning 93.
Wow.
Yeah. Michael Douglas is 78. Mark Hamill is 71. Michael Madsen is 64. Heather Locklear is 61. Scottie Pippen is 57. Will Smith is 54. Catherine Zeta-Jones is 53. Donald Glover is 39. And yeah, that's it.
Wow, all those birthdays making me feel really, really old. Wow. All right, this will make you feel old, too. It happened today. We start off in 63 BC. Caesar Augustus was born in Rome on that day. Jump all the way up to 1779. American Commander John Paul Jones is said to have declared, "I have not yet begun to fight," during the Revolutionary War naval battle. On 1846, planet Neptune discovered by a German astronomer known as Galilei and Johann Gottfried Galilei. Did I say that right, you think, Philip?
Yeah.
All right.
Very good.
1952, Republican vice presidential candidate Richard M. Nixon went on TV to deliver what became known as the Checkers speech as he refuted allegations of improper campaign financing. 1952. All right, 2004, thieves broke into a delivery truck in a parking lot in Sweden, made off with 150,000 pairs, or about 3 tons, of low-cost reading glasses. Police think it must have taken several hours to transfer the glasses to another truck. You think they make money on that?
I don't know. Seems like I was just following along with what you were saying, and I was waiting for you to say something like, I don't know, Air Jordans or something, and then low-cost reading glasses.
2020, for the first time in history, at a White House press conference, Donald Trump refused to commit to a peaceful transfer of power after the upcoming election, and he didn't. Let's see, 1948, this is for Sunday, Honda Motor Company was founded. 1960, the USS Enterprise, the first nuclear-powered aircraft cruiser, was launched at Newport News, Virginia. Let's see. We got a 2006. 3-year-old British boy showed what a genius he was at bidding on the internet by buying a car off eBay. Rachel and Jack Neal said their young son Jack recently purchased a pink car through eBay for $17,000. The Neals found out about Jack's endeavor when they received a congratulatory message from eBay. Wow. All right, 2017, polystyrene trash discovered for the first time only 1,000 miles from the North Pole. Look how far pollution is spread. Yay. All right, that was Saturday, I guess. Sunday, 1789, first United States Congress adopted 12 amendments to the Constitution and sent them to the states for ratification. 10 of the amendments became the Bill of Rights. Let's see. 2006, 4 Detroit carjackers stole an inoperable vehicle from a woman waiting for a tow truck to arrive. Undeterred by the flat tire or the victim's cell phone, the masked crooks got behind the wheel and attempted to outrun police, but they couldn't.
Silly.
2017, first ever woman graduated from the U.S. Marine Corps Infantry Officer Course. Whoop, whoop. You go, ladies. All right. And 2020, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the first woman to lie in state in the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. after she passed away.
RBG.
All right. Weekends, I guess, special events. Philip Dunton.
Oh, yeah. So rare that I get to do these. Native American Day, International Day of Sign Languages, Love Note Day, Checkers Day.
That's for Nixon.
Yeah, right. Great American Pot Pie Day and Restless Legs Awareness Day.
Ooh.
Beware.
I've got restless legs. And it was funny because they did a sleep study, and they said, you have a mild case of sleep apnea. But the guy says, but you've got the worst case of restless legs I've ever seen. He said, all night long, your little legs just move. And I was like, that's why I wake up so tired. I'm running all night long.
I didn't think that happened at night when you were sleeping. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yep. All right. How about special events for Saturday?
Yeah, we've got Gallbladder Good Health Day.
My mom keeps hers in a jar.
Awkward.
It's true.
Rabbit Day.
Okay.
Kiss Day. Museum Day. Cherries Jubilee Day. Ghost Hunting Day.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Hunting and Fishing Day. Public Lands Day. Punctuation Day. And Singles Day.
Ooh, okay. Sunday.
Sunday, we've got 3 months until Christmas. Oh my gosh!
Why would you even say that?
I don't know. Sorry, I was scrolling and it just came up.
Wow, Philip. Wow. Are you going shopping? Because I got this.
Well, the church store called and they're running out of you.
All right, we got Daughter's Day.
Cool.
Gold Star Mother's Day. Wonder what that is. Yeah. Comic Book Day. Cooking Day. Food Service Employees Day. Whoop whoop. Lobsters Day or Lobster Day, and One Hit Wonder Day.
One Hit Wonder Day. Wow.
And I left out a few. We still got Psychotherapy Day, Quesadilla Day, World Deaf Day, World Dream Day, Pharmacist Day, World Rivers Day.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot going on Sunday.
Gold Star Mother is the military award no one wants. When an active duty service member passes away, his or her mother automatically becomes a Gold Star Mother. It's a distinction that no mother wants, but it's one they wear proudly. So.
Huh. Did not do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving along, number of the day is 30, and that's percentage of all grocery store transactions which occur at self-checkout now. That's up 18% for 2018.
Yeah, definitely seems forced.
It does. At first, I was real rebellious for it, but now I kind of like the self-checkout because I am, like I go shopping, I'm single, so I go shopping every few days. I never do a big shop because I only have 2 bags, recyclable bags, and that's one for each hand. So I wonder if it's had an effect on grocery stores, bringing your own bag. So I bring in 2 bags. If they're full, I'm done shopping and I leave. And I don't know.
But see, you just eyeball it as you're shopping, like, oh,
Well, I usually use the bags as a cart, unless I know I'm getting, I'm going to stuff both bags or something like that. I'll usually use the bags as a cart, and I walk through and fill them. And most of the time, it's just one, and then I'm out of the store. So I wonder if it's affected, if there's maybe more transactions, but they're smaller at grocery stores because of having to bring your own bags now.
I don't know. At Walmart, they basically took out all of their registers and only have self-checkout.
Totally automated.
And it is a mess.
Now, if I go into the grocery store and they do have one checker and there's not a big line or something like that, and I have done a big shop, I will get in line and get the help rather than trying to do it all yourself.
Yeah. I like the interaction of the people.
Yes, yeah. It's a different kind of thing, but it's sure taken over all over the planet now. These self-checkout things, yeah. I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll decide later, I imagine. And I think we're coming toward the end of our show here. We better roll this out.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, sit back and enjoy the show as we deliver you the stupids. First part's our news attack, where the one sentence is true and the next sentence is, well, a really bad joke. And Philip gets to kick it off today.
Yeah, mine's funny, though. Swedish scientist once developed a way to keep people from remembering horrible events. It's called alcohol.
All right. For many years, biologists said the genes of chimps and humans were about 98.5% identical, but we now know the figure is closer to 95%. Holy smokes. Basic difference is that while both chimps and humans can dress up in silly-looking clothes, only humans can play golf in them. Oh, Mike Bentz.
Zing. A passenger on an American Airlines flight sucker punched a flight attendant after being told he couldn't use the first-class restrooms. Are they doing WWE bra on airplanes now?
That's crazy. And it's every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are just the ones we hear about. How many other crazy things happen on planes? Here's an interesting fact. Americans eat enough peanut butter each year to cover the floor of the Grand Canyon. If it was crunchy peanut butter and you walked in it, wouldn't there be a heck of an echo? Did I say that? Echo? Okay.
Nice.
Very nice.
Tesla has recalled over 1 million cars due to window issues. My car was so cheap, windows were an option, and I said, no, thank you.
How do you drive? All right. Let's see. Tesla again. Tesla has recalled over 1 million cars due to issues with Windows. Owners are having trouble upgrading to Windows 11.
Aww.
Is that
funny?
That was really
I never get tired of dated Windows jokes.
Oh, yeah. All right, there you go.
Americans are waiting longer than previous generations before purchasing their first home. They want to wait until their kids are old enough to get part-time jobs to help pay the mortgage.
Yeah, especially now, interest rate just went up. They said that's really going to hit home purchases. All right. They said if you today, after the rate went up yesterday, or it was the day before, that buying a house is going to cost you about $200 more per month now. After that rate, Haig, that's a lot.
A lot.
Of course, that's dependent on the price of the house you're buying, but still. All right. Let's see. Last one. A study found that constant exposure to artificial light may weaken bone density. I find that very strange. In other words, every time I open my refrigerator, I lose bone but gain fat. So I'm going to just start opening the fridge and shutting it and lose some bone density. Well, maybe that's a bad idea. All right, let's move on to Wacky But True. We don't add any stupid jokes to the end of these because it's all self-contained, maybe a movie sound effect, and I picked out some bad ones for today. So, Philip, will you kick it off again?
Yeah. A man in China, tired of huffing it up the stairs of his 6-story apartment, decided he'd install a shortcut, a private elevator that only stops at his floor. Authorities said that no paperwork or plans had been submitted for the elevator, which was considered an illegal structure.
Oh, but that's genius. Who does that?
I don't know. That guy's smart.
An elevator that only goes to his floor, too. That's so cool. All right. Too bad he got in trouble.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm 100 years old. I'm done.
Don't be an Adolf Hitler.
All right. House fire in England was blamed on a dog that peed on the vacuum cleaner. I wonder what that felt like. Ouch. Firemen arrived at the scene to find the vacuum cleaner, which was plugged in, had burned out, and the dog was fine, but had this to say.
Hello.
In Harris County, Florida, a deputy fell ill while at the station, was transported to the hospital, and was released. The incident happened after deputies had confiscated marijuana, edibles, and mushrooms. Sources said one of the boxes had been left unattended, and the deputy thought some of the drugs, colorful pills and clear plastic baggies, were candy.
Really? I don't know if I believe that.
I also like the headline for it: "Drugged up deputy."
Ooh,
Man,
candy,
Florida.
really? In clear plastic bags. Okay, sure.
In the box
Remember,
of
it's
the drug.
just the same here as anywhere else in the world. Everything has a price. So pay your money and don't expect any free samples.
A woman in Washington State, Lakewood to be exact, was arrested after she allegedly drove a stolen car into fresh concrete and became stuck before trying to flee the scene. Incident happened Monday as crews were pouring concrete for a stretch of road. After the woman got stuck in the concrete, witnesses reported that she threw a television, an Instapot, and a half-empty bottle of whiskey out of the car before trying to leave the scene. So I can just picture them all sticking up out of the concrete.
Yeah, I was like, we gotta cut weight. We're never gonna make it through.
The bonus,
throwing stuff out of the car.
The bonus to this story was she had her 4-year-old son with her.
But he stayed in the car.
Really?
Gosh, you're an upbeat lady.
Uh-huh. All right. An Illinois water park marked the end of summer season by letting one last visitor float along the lazy river, an alligator. The Scoville Zoo brought G, a 39-year-old alligator, to Splash Cove in Decatur, Illinois, to officially become the last visitor to the park to float on the lazy river. Splash Cove officials said the last human visitors were at the park several weeks ago, allowing enough chlorine to naturally burn off the water for it to become safe for the reptile to take a swim. A video posted to Facebook by the Scoville Zoo shows G floating in the lazy river and crawling along the bottom of the water.
Really? Alligator Day Out, huh?
Cool name.
Yeah. All right. Hey, G.
G'd up from the feet up.
Ooh.
Right. Woo-hoo-hoo. These things make me nervous.
Me too. A 21-year-old named Joseph Malhado was pulled over by, wow, lots of stories for Florida. I should almost play the song. By the Florida Highway Patrol for allegedly driving 116 in a 70 zone. Joseph's excuse was, I was honestly trying to make it to class. It was the first day of fall semester at the university where Malhado studies physics. Traffic cop delayed him by about 15 minutes. That's it? It doesn't even seem funny, does it?
Yeah.
No.
No reckless driving ticket?
Nothing? All right, that's all I got. I missed that one. I don't even have a sound effect for it. Well, it was Florida. No, I don't want to play the song. Let's do this. Here, this is for him.
I got my 2 hands up. I surrender. Come and lock me up. Here forever.
But you know what? 116. That could be like what do they call that when you're driving way too fast? It's not dangerous driving. It's not reckless driving.
Reckless endangerment.
So he's lucky he didn't go to jail and have his car impounded. He was only 15 minutes late, so he kind of scored there.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Bill Adams was on a road trip from Vermont to Tennessee when he spotted a bus broken down on the side of the road in Ohio. It had Canada plates on it. The Canadians had been broken down for about an hour and a half, and there was no air conditioning. Adams happens to own a charter bus business, and he had gone to Vermont with a driver to bring home a new bus. He picked up the stranded travelers and learned they were headed to Nashville to see a show at the Grand Ole Opry. Bill got them there on time.
Wow. How lucky is
Very
that?
nice.
Yeah.
Are you sure he's got one? Oh, yes, it's very nice, sir.
Just happen to have a bus right here for you. Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to go there, check out the Grand Ole Opry.
I'm not so sure.
Either of you know how to hotwire a bus?
Stavro can. He's from Jersey, sir.
All right, we're good to go. We're going to the Grand Ole Opry. We got a bus and we got it hotwired.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, that's our show for today. All right, enjoy your weekend. You have a nice one. Don't forget to get out and support your local farmers market. Not too many Friday market days left. Again, that goes from 11 till 3:30. And live from Addie, any closing words, Philip?
Support your bartenders also.
Okay, all right. With tips, probably. All right.
Also have a good weekend.
All right. You still get a lot of people come up there and go, tell you they heard you on the radio?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And then they leave you a big tip?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, it's working then. All right, I expect my kickback percentage on that, too. All right.
Yep.
All right.
In the mail.
All right. I bet it is. Philip Dutton, live from Addie. Thank you for being here, Philip. Other than that, we want you to have a great day and keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. It's KCHW 102.7. Have a great weekend.
This concludes the broadcast from World Control.
Be cool.
Oh, bye.
Bye.